Okay, we're going to start this project on the engine by using this exercise 2 as our template. So the first thing I want to do is just I'm going to come in here and clean out this information on here. It's already been saved. Just hit the delete key. Yes. You'll notice all of my callouts disappeared on the bottom, which is fine. And we'll fix this up in a minute. So we're going to go to File, Save As. And I'm going to put this in our engine folder under Draft, and I'm going to call it Template. This template is going to carry a standard note, I believe, on all of the parts. So we're going to go ahead and put that in, just get it out of the way. I'm just going to left click, and I'll zoom in so you can read it good. It's going to say Note, all caps. Probably want to use a little less emphasis. I'm going to go to an Arial, and we don't need bold. There we go. Break all edges 0.005 to 0.015 period. Must be free of burrs which may be detrimental to satisfactory assembly, safe handling, or function. Period. And we'll just take that, take my selection tool. Now I can just move that right down on top of the title block. So that'll always be there for us. Do a file save. We'll work some more on this in a little bit, but for now what we're going to do is go to open up a new, actually I don't want to open up, I want to create a new file. This will be an ANSI part. If you don't see it on your list, go to More, you'll find it there. It's an ANSI part. ANSI means it's going to be in inches. ISO means it'll be in metric. So this is going to be in inches for our engine, and we're going to just do the base plate. Just say OK. There's our file. This base plate is 5.5 inches long, 4 inches wide, and a 1/2 inch thick. So we're going to draw it just like it's laying flat. So I'm going to roll this up just a little bit so that I can get this XY, just the XY, slide over the padlock and just left click. You'll notice this padlock shows up in my upper right, meaning I'm locked to that plane. Now we'll select our center point, and we're going to go, just type in 5.5, hit the tab key, 4, tab, and then if I just roll this around, it'll lock to the 0 angle. Turns blue. Very simple. Now we're going to go and extrude this piece 1/2 inch thick. We want it to extrude in both directions symmetrically. We left click on the face, hit our enter key, and pull it up, and just key in 0.5. Okay. Think of this as now a piece of steel. So next thing we're going to do is we'll actually put some holes in this thing. This has some counterbore holes. So we're going to select our hole menu, hole tool, and we drop down this little hole option page, and we select counterbore. It's in inches. The diameter of this is 0.281. That's the hole that goes all the way through. It has a counterbore diameter of 0.406, and it has a depth of that counterbore of 0.26. And we're just going to say OK. Now, remember, I'm looking at the top. My counterbore wants to be in the bottom. So I'm going to flip this thing over so I can see the underside of it. And I'm just going to place a counter bore here, another one here. I'm going to place one over here in this corner and one right here. And then right click. Now if we roll this to a top view, we see our holes are kind of scattered. I have some dimensions that these need to follow. So I'm going to zoom out on this just a little bit. We're going to select our dimensioning tool. These dimensions aren't the dimensions you'd see on the paper. These actually are dimensions that will direct our objects to where we want them to be. We're going to dimension from this edge and just to this hole. We know that that dimension is going to be 2 inches. Now you'll notice this has a red ball on the bottom and an arrow on the top. If I click this, it puts the arrow in both directions. And if I click here, it swaps it. I want it here because I want this edge to stay, and I want it to just move what's attached to this edge. And we know that's going to be 2. We just hit enter, and you'll see the hole drop down. I want this other hole to be the same location. So I'm just going to right click to reset it. Go from here to this edge of the hole. Again, we see our arrow in the right dimension. Hit enter. Now both of these holes are lined up at 2 inches off the edge, so they're centered on the plate. Right click again, and I'm going to go from this vertical edge to this edge. Just move my mouse down. I know that, zoom out so you can see it, the arrow is pointing in that direction, so we're going to key in 0.9. Right click, and I'm going to go from this one to this one, and we'll pull that up. I know that that distance needs to be 1, pushing everything to the right. So now these 2 holes are located correctly for my base plate. The next 2 holes, I know that this hole needs to be 2.6 inches from this last hole. So I'm just going to right click and start here with left click and left click, bring it down. We know that's 2.6. Sometimes you wish you had a bigger screen. Now this is located correctly, and I know off this edge it's going to be up 1/2 inch. So we're just going to left click here, left click on the circle, and we're going to go up 0.5. Now this hole is where it needs to be. We're going to line this top hole up from this center point. Whoops, right click again, sorry. We know that this one is going to be 2.6. Going to line it up with this one, and from the edge to this center point is going to be 0.5. So we've created our base plate. We're looking at it in the top view. We can pull it around and see there's our counter bores on the bottom. The next thing we want to do, and the final thing for the actual object, is we're going to bevel the edges. So I'm going to, if you come over here, you can turn off the PMI, which is all those dimensions, so you're just left with this piece of steel. We're going to select our chamfer tool, chamfer, right here with equal setbacks, because this has a 0.125 chamfer at 45 degrees, which means equal setbacks. You could have unequal setbacks, but in this case we want equal. And we're just going to select an edge, and it says 0.050. I want my edge to be 0.125. Hit enter. And I want that on each edge all the way around. You don't even have to rekey it because it remembers. So there's our chamfer around that edge. This part is now essentially complete. Now, what we want to do is go to our properties, and we're going to put some material on this. We're going to call it steel, just plain steel. And that has a density of 0.283 pounds per mass per cubic inch. We'll be able to actually take the mass and put it on our title block. So we're just going to apply this steel to our model. You'll see it change color slightly. And now we're going to go to the main menu, go to Properties, and select File Properties. We're going to look at our summary. The title of this is going to be Baseplate. The subject will be Steam Engine. I'm going to change this to just C. Junkins. Of course, you're going to put your name in. Manager will be MET121. The company will be the University of Maine. Could be anything you want. Now, under the comments, we've got quite a few comments here. It's going to say, unless otherwise specified. Dimensions are in inches. Angles plus or minus 1.0 degrees. 2 places plus or minus 0.01 or 0.01, sorry. And then 3 places plus or minus 0.002. We'll look at our statistics and get back to that summary just for a second. I guess that's fine. I was looking for something that had some other symbols, but I'll have to study up on that. Our units are going to be in inches to 3 decimal places, angle readout, area readout. The project will be document. This will be document number 1 for part 1. Revision number 0. Project name will just say Steam Engine. Status is active and available. Preview will be on the save. And that should take care of it. We're going to say OK, and now we're going to do a file save. We're going to call it, it's already part 1, and it's going into our engine parts library. It's part number 1. We'll say save. And now we're going to go back to our title block. And what we'll do here is we're going to reference in that engine. And we're going to add a few more things to our callout when we have that in there. So we'll just do a view wizard. There's our part 1. Make sure I'm in the engine. Part 1 will be our part. And if you're in 6, this ST6, this will be a little different. But I'm just going to say next. And I want to see my front view. Hit next. And finish, and I'm just going to place this part view up here right as close to the top as I can. Okay. Now if I go to my principal views and just left click on this and pull this down, I want to pull down basically the bottom view. In other words, we're looking up from the bottom so that we can see our counter bores. And I'm going to grab this and just pull it over from the side. So if I select this piece, I just want to kind of move it over just a little closer so it looks nice and centered. I'm going to select this and just delete it. Simple as that. Just looking at it, I probably need to go up just a bit here so I have room on the bottom for our titles. And we're going to start putting some dimensions. A couple things on, you'll notice this populated. My note probably needs to be at 0.5, and that also should be, if you pull this over, you'll see some other options. We want to center that. We'll just place it right here in the middle so it's out of the way. We're going to put a, we've already got our we're going to put material, and underneath that we'll put the actual call out for the material. So we're just going to take, see if I can take this sorry. We'll just do a new piece of text. It'll be material. Oops. I apologize for that. It looks bold, that's why I was. I gotta figure out what this font is. Solid Edge ANSI. Okay. Let's change this one to Solid Edge ANSI. So we'll end up making this our new template at the end anyway. So it's Solid Edge ANSI. Right there. Maybe I gotta select them all. Apologize for that. There we go. Missed one at the end here. Nice to get it fixed now, and then we don't have to worry about it later. Pull that back over. Take our material. That needs to be Solid Edge ANSI. Better. Put that up here. And what we'll do down here is a call out. So we're going to do a call out. Go down and select our property text. We want it to be from our named reference. And it's going to be material. Somewhere there should be material. Hit select. OK. And then rather than part 1 .par, we're going to type in R1. So it's going to find the same thing, but it will happen now on every piece of our title block. Hit OK, and I'll just place it right here. Steel. Now we're going to go over to our drawing number. So we'll put some more text in here. Actually, we'll just do our callouts and then we'll title them later. Again, we're going to go to our named reference. This will be the file name. And again, rather than part1.par, we're going to change this to R1. And I'm going to place this right in the middle. Oh, I'm sorry, that's drawing name, so I gotta get it in the right spot. Okay. And I want to put my scale in here, or actually my weight of my part, and sheet 1 of 1. So this is going to be, get this in the right spot. My title block is going to be a little different than the template here, so let's put some text. Hopefully it'll remember this so I don't have to keep changing it. There we go. This text is going to say scale 1:1. So this is full scale. And we'll select it. And we'll put it right here. And we're going to type in, I remembered good, weight. Just throwing an extra little line in there. Alright. Next one, vision. Get these all done so we can just make it right. Drawing number. No, I didn't want that. Hold on. The right one here. And we'll push that up. Yeah, that'll work for now. Now we'll go to our callouts. Under this, we're going to select named reference. Then we want our mass. Our mass is going to stay R1. So it actually takes the size of our unit and figures how much it's going to weigh. We're going to place that right there. We'll do another one. Named reference, we want a revision number. Change this to R1. I have to put my bracket back in there. Now we got our drawing number. So, fortunately we only have to do this once, so this is document number 1, and again we'll change this to R1, hit OK, and place that right there, and that should be good. We'll do a fit view, and now let's put a title on this view. It's going to say bottom view. This one will say our side view. And let's put some dimensions on here. We got an overall dimension here. It's not 101.6. Notice up here it says ANSI millimeters. I want ANSI inches. 4.000 inches. Going to 3 decimal places. That's what everything else is on the template. And now we'll go on the top view. 5.5 inches. We're going to go to our dimension between this element and this element is 0.5 inches. You notice how the 5 is buried in there? Just take your selection tool, select this, and you can just pull that number outside. Alright, now I'm going to dimension our holes. Before I do that, I'm just going to put a center mark. And Just change the size of them to 0.5 so they're not too. And put those edges out there. So now we'll go to our smart dimension. I know that from this edge to the center point is 9. And then I'm just clicking the next object. And then go to the center of this one. It's going to be 2.6. Simple as that. And we know that from the center line of this to the center line of this is going to be 3 inches. All 4 of these holes are the same. So we're going to put a note on here, a dimension note that is going to, it'll be a smart dimension, but we're going to put a prefix and a suffix on it. The prefix will say times 4, or actually 4 times, and I'll actually just clear that, 4x, and this suffix will be counterbore. That's a symbol for counterbore. Point diameter 0.406 hyphen to a depth of 0.260. We say okay. Now if I grab this inner circle and pull this out now, you'll notice it says 4x, diameter 0.281, counterbore. I should probably put a hyphen before this one. That looks more like it. So we hyphenate between each of those. And there's our note. We're just going to put it right down here. That covers everything. Final dimension on this will be over on this side. We need to dimension this chamfer. If you notice up here, there's a little, whoops, my dimension, chamfer dimensions. And what you have to do is change this to call out perpendicular. And you're going to select this, can't remember which line it goes first, this one and this one. And then you want to turn off your prefix. And there's your chamfer. Oops, help if I get the wrong one. Vertical and then the angle. I'll just bring this up 125 by 45. That'll be all the way around. Let's do a fit view. See if we've got everything ready to go. Looks good to me. Now to print this, I'm just going to do a file, print. I'm setting mine to an Adobe PDF print. We'll say I want to preview it, see what it's going to look like. Looks good. And I'll just hit print. I'm going to put this on my desktop in my MET 121 folder under homework, prints, and probably even a better thing is to go to our engine folder, right click and say new folder. We're going to call this one prints, so we can put all our engine files in here, and this will be part 1 base plate. Hit save. And we'll be able to see it right here. There's my print. So I could actually print this out to a regular printer now, and that's what I would turn in. Remember, you're going to need to save each of these as a file in a protective sheet, in a portfolio, in a binder, so you'll be turning them in at the end of the semester for an overall grade on the engine project. So keep that in mind. I'll close this Adobe out. I'm just going to do a file, save again. I guess I already did it. And now I want to do a file, save as, and I'm going to go back to my draft. Actually, I guess I need to save that one because it's still a draft. Do a file, save as. This draft will be part 1. Save. And you'll notice it changes up here. Now I'll go save as template. Yes. I'm just going to take my selection tool now. I'm going to select all the stuff on the top and delete it. Yes. You'll notice that all of this material on the bottom got changed. And just do a file, save. And now this is ready for our next part number 2, that we're going to be bringing up and placing in the folder. So we'll just do a file, save again, and then we can close out of Solid Edge.